YouTube, this is week 4. I quite like doing these episodes because it reminds me of what week I'm actually on in prep. Week 4, but the main theme of this video, as you'll see, is client show day. So I have got Jordan Sexton, one of my clients, competing at the WNBF first timers today, which is mega because he looks mega. He's a junior, believe it or not. I know you might have seen him in previous episodes. But yeah, he'll be competing this morning around 10:30 to 11, which is cool. And I'll put these photos here now. This was him yesterday, and yeah, it looks absolutely wild, almost to the point that I'm like, oh, if we could keep that look and go on stage like that, then that is absolutely nails, which is wicked. I'll go way more into what we do, what we've done, what I've done as a coach, things that you need to know maybe as a first timer and stuff within this video, just not within this bit. It's Herb. Sorry, look, this is what happens when you walk dogs and you try and film something. They get all caught up. There we go. They get all caught up in the bloody lead. But yeah, I could not be more excited for that. I've also got a lot of the other guys that are starting their peak weeks for a show next week, which is cool. So yeah, I'm very excited. I think it's just gone 5, to be honest. Up at 4:30, just gone 5. It takes about 2 hours to get there because it's in Luton, Dunstable, I think it is. I've been there before. It's a nice venue actually, and yeah, it takes about 2 hours. So just making my food when I get back. I already made half of it. So yeah, it's probably another thing. Well, look, the coaches don't need to know this, but if you have got people at shows and you are going to the shows, which you should do, it's just being as a bodybuilder. Look, I'm on prep. I've got to be organised. Take me food. No excuses really. Like, but then once you've been doing this long enough, it's second nature. But yeah, like I say, week 4 of prep. Another check-in this week gone by. Technically a new low. Things are moving, but the boring side is that there are no changes in the plan. If it's working, as Hilly says, we just keep rinsing and repeating. I believe this weekend, when this video goes out, I am 8 weeks out of the first show, 15 out of the Sweden Pro Qualifier, and then 17 out of PCA Hull, 19 out of the British Final. So that is still ages away, to be honest, isn't it? And then yeah, I'll get into the money, because I don't think the last episodes I've really had to spend anything on pets and stuff. And if you remember from episode 1, I was like, oh look, we're kind of started and we're already at £1,000. I just ordered a few things in, so I'll go through the stuff that was spent this week just so you can get an insight into how much it is. I also had some questions from the last episode, which was great, so I will answer some of those in here as well. But yeah, I need to get this show on the road, and yeah. Wow, if sunlight can make someone turn into a ghost. I'm on my way. It is, I forgot to say, it's Sunday. I'm on my way to the show, but first things first, I need to go and get a fucking Monster. Although I look like a real wow. This, honestly, I've never seen a person so white in my life. Already failed the mission, lads. The Sainsbury's weren't open yet. They only don't open till 7. I thought it was a load of bollocks. And it is very weird because I'm on the road. Yes, I've got the Osmo in a safe place. Don't worry. I am on usually a busy road and there's absolutely no cars. It's only it's 6:30. I suppose it's a Sunday, but I don't know. It just feels weird when you've been up a couple of hours. But yeah, I failed the Monster. I'm gonna have to get one soon. But yeah, we're on the way to Luton. Like I said before, very, very excited. I think what I kind of wanted to touch on is just how hard a bodybuilding show can be. But Jordan is the perfect example, right, of someone. Before we did prep, I told him in this year in the gym the other day, right? I was like, I'm actually surprised he made it all the way, and that wasn't because I doubted him bodybuilding, anything to do with getting lean enough and being big and all this, but more so because when he first joined me, it was just adjusting and just almost understanding how the more results you want to get, how 100% you need to be on it. And it's like he'd get to the off-season bulking where some weeks would be 90, maybe 100% here and there, but then some would be 70. Now don't get me wrong, if you have an off-plan stuff, okay, I'm not really bothered when you're at peak bulk, but there was just little things. I can't remember. I was like, I'll be surprised because this is if you want to do well, you've really got to step up. And mate, he has stepped the fuck up, right? What you've got to do as a coach, and what I've got to manage with myself as a client, is communicating to Hilly if I feel anyway. But it's just managing them. I've got a few guys at the moment, and touch wood, like the ones that have all been competing, they have not moaned at all. They'll tell me if they're a little bit tired, they'll tell me if they have a bit of a hard day, but considering what I've had before and like, I don't know how I get in preps and how people are, absolutely all of them have been absolutely unreal. And I would actually say this year it's been more of a case of, I'm a big fan of high days at certain points, almost pushing new lows, leave that for a few days, almost give them like harder days to then be able to feel from that point, because I just feel you're more sensitive, you're not shooting the gun too early, but again then it mentally, I think there's such a big mental part. But this year as well, I would say I've definitely incorporated more no cardio days, as in like I'll be like, right, we're going to load, but for the first 2 days a week to do no cardio. And Jordan was the perfect example. I don't know if I said it in the video last week, where he's the perfect example of what's it called? I said don't do cardio. He's like, I'm 78, and he got down to 75. He's like, I'm 78. Why is it going up? And I was like, look, you'll drop 3 kilos when we stop the cardio, or when I just say for 2 days to drop it down. Bam, 3 kilos, and I literally replied going, see. And yeah, it is crazy. But anyway, back to Jordan. Like I said this morning, he looks wicked. He looked absolute nails yesterday. There's not really much, like, even if someone that, like, when you look as good as Jordan as a first timer as well, which again, first time is way better than me for my first time. But then saying that, there's been some really, like, you do get surprised with how more first timers bring it in recently. But anyway, in terms of, like, if he comes in a bit flat, he'll just look, he'll look a bit flat, but he's absolutely, like, he's shredded, so that's absolutely fine. You see more detail. And if he comes in full, he's at the point where he really can't kind of spill over. So don't know what this car's doing, but anyway, you can't really spill over, like, you can't really do too much wrong. And we haven't done anything drastic. Like, don't get me wrong, I fat loaded him, which I don't do too much, but it just seemed to work really well when I tried it with him a little bit before. So it's like, fuck it, we'll do it. He looked really good off the back of it. And yeah, ultimately we then did high carb days, but they weren't like astronomical, not to any point. And then yesterday, today, I've just found, look, just give him like an average day of food, almost like baseline days of food, baseline days of water. I think today I've said to him, off the top of my head, it was like 250 carb, and he's on at 1040, so by that time in the morning that would be about right. Want to say about 15 grams of fat per meal, and he's having 3. Not really bothered about the protein, but again, water 2.5 to 3 litres, because for him that is his normal bit, and just having normal salt. We yesterday, just to have a little bit of diuresis, I did say, right, let's get all the salt in by a certain time, all the water in by a certain time, but it was only a couple of hours before bed. And that was just to drive some extra diuresis. But I know with him as well, like, if I see him in person, he'll look absolutely wicked. And the only thing I need to say to him, which I would, this is one thing I think you guys, a lot of people need to understand, is number one, I hate having a rest day before the fucking show. People look better after a gym session. I don't know what it is like after gym, right? But understand, backstage isn't a time to do a gym session. So although you see that pump in the gym, you can't replicate it too much. But one thing you can do is pose backstage, get that heart rate up, as well as other things, maybe a bit of salt and stuff to bring your body temperature up and heart rate up. That's going to warm you up. You're going to be more vascular. You're going to be able blood flow, etc. Sorry for the bloody light, lads. But yeah, in terms of that, I'll get him to pose, I'll get him to stay warm, not sweating, but I want him warm, so that when he goes on stage, bam, instead of needing to almost warm up on stage, he's warm before he goes on, he'll be fuller, and yeah, he'll do absolutely wicked. So, but I'm gonna carry on this drive, and I've got an hour and a half until we're there. I'll be there for about 8 o'clock, which is cool. He's getting his tan 8 till 9, and I'll try and show you as much of the venue as I can, although I don't know how much they'll actually let me film. But yes, another day in the life of undeniable Coach Michael. Woo-hoo-hoo. Actually got some normal lighting now, so you can see my face. So I apologise for the last few minutes, but at least you can hear me. Well, yeah, I thought whilst I'm on the way, a question that I'm going to post to you and I'm going to answer myself later on the video, because it was brought up and I spoke to 2 people about it, and I was trying to think, because I obviously coach both, who are easier to coach, or who do you think's easier to get in shape, a natural athlete or an enhanced athlete? Because I know a lot of people will think enhanced, it must be way easier. but I'll give you my thoughts later. But as this is my vlog, I thought, oh, let's update. We're another week down. We're another week into it, right? So, as I said earlier, I think I hit a new low. I was like 108.5. Always hit the new low by checking, just because it's the day after a massage and rest day and stuff like that. Yeah, getting leaner. I'm just in, as I explained, was it last week or the week before, where you're just in that middle spot. Now, I don't necessarily, I feel like flat. I'd like to see what I look like full. Flat's probably not the right word, but I just like to see what I look like full as you get leaner. Like, I don't look and go, oh, like I'm super flat and I'm getting leaner and I can't see the muscle, but just cracking on, really, just cracking on. Obviously, body weight's down. Squeaky bum time, because I would, although it doesn't matter in the slightest, because I don't know if I'll do it much after this year. And for 2 of the shows, it don't matter anyway about my weight, being a PCA don't have super heavies and heavyweights. They have tall, medium, and short. But yeah, the cap's 102, and I'd much rather, I think, ego-wise, should be at the lower end. Albeit, if I'm at the lower end still, well, I must be at the lower end. There's no doubt about it. So, don't really feel like I've made much progress the last few years, which is a load of shit, because I have. I know. But at the same time, for the amount of effort you put in, just knowing where your genetics are. Like, don't get me wrong, yes, I can get bigger over time, but there are a lot more things now with Coles at play, and it's just like, yeah, we'll see. But no, it was a very good week of training. On the whole, I've got a few niggles which are really weird, like in my both bicep tendons, both shoulders just seem to be in a bit of jip, but considering I'm not lifting low volume heavy, it just seems pretty odd to me. Like, I am doing higher volume and I can't lift as heavy, but I'm getting a pump. I don't know where these niggles are coming from, and I don't know why. It's a little bit annoying. Genuinely, it just makes me feel old. I'm just like, oh my god, I'm not even doing that much. Like, I'm training hard, but I'm not trying to lift 9,000 plates. Yes, I'm probably lifting more than most, but for me, where I'm at, how long I've been doing it, where my strength's been before, it is massively quite a bit down. So yeah, there is that. But no, training on the whole's really good. Making sure literally every session needs to be in greens, 100%. But I am going into them with just a different fire than I've had before. I'd say this week's probably the first week where I've turned around to them and been like maybe just thinking, oh, like, it's just hard not to go quicker, which I know I'm fine with, and I tell clients this, like, I know I'm fine with it. I think it's more, you just kind of, I just look at the fattest body parts and I almost just want them to be at a certain point first before I'm like, oh, you know what, this is easy. Because my back holds a lot of body fat. By a lot of body fat, I mean it's just thickness of the skin. Like, I'm not overhanging fat or anything like that. It's just thickness of the skin. And then my glutes, again, they're not far off, but it's just understanding, yeah, like, this shit takes time, and I'm human, so I think the same stuff, and I must have said it in loads of people's check-ins the last few days, that they'd say the same sort of stuff. And what do I tell them? I just need to listen to myself, listen to them, because she speaks sense. But we are, like I say, 8 weeks out, just cruising at the moment. We still got no cleaning. The cycle is still 750 test, 300 EQ, 200 mass, 75 DHB, 10 I use GH, of which I'm going to change my DGH, what's the word, brands. Not that I'm bothered, I've just found something that I trust, a bit cheaper, and I just can't be bothered paying loads for it. Oh, but that does go, yeah, sorry, the things that I bought this week to add up, if you're following along. So, I think it was 320 quid for the GH this week, 120 quid for T3, T4, melatonin and something else. And my supplements would have been 150 odd, but I got gift cards because my clients use my code, so I get money off, so it's only 30 quid. But in total, what's that like? Yeah, nearly 500 quid this week just on stuff for just stuff for the show. And to be fair, I don't know if I did say, but obviously booking the hotel and that, like, the Airbnb in Sweden, that's 200. To compete at both the Two Bro shows when I do them, with that in the tan, you're looking at 250 to 300 like each. And then I've got to get the travel on top of that. So yeah, it adds up. Bodybuilding is expensive. And this is probably the first time I've probably gone this year with it and paid it all and not been a cheap bodybuilder. So yeah. But the plan from Hilly yesterday, no, Friday, was just keep doing what we're doing. Pretty much, well, no cardio pretty much. 13k steps, the same cycle, no fat burners. So I listened to the man. We'll do that. like I say, 15 weeks to the first one. I'm going to start posing properly soon, like actually putting a time in rather than just kind of post-workout and check-ins and not really doing it. More so, I need to practice posing, everyone does, but it's more so for me the endurance and getting out of breath and all that good stuff. But yeah, another week in the books. Obviously next week's video, I don't actually know what day I'm going to film yet, so it might even be before I know any changes, if any. But we carry on. I haven't actually weighed myself since Friday, so I don't actually know if I'm a new low or anything, but just pushing through, getting it done. So I'm here, I'm putting my face really close because I don't know why that fucking, it's not even that bright. I don't even know why the camera's not working, but I'm here at Jordan's show. So I'm going to try and record inside and show you what it actually looks like with all these natty competitors. So, this is where everything is. This is everyone lined up. Ah, yeah. Lots of people. Lots of people. Sorry, cheers. Well, that's the thing I don't like doing. I don't like twisting the top. Then it just doesn't go. Look, it just stays there like.
Okay, gentlemen, listen out for your numbers. 17, 14 switch. 15, 20 switch. Okay, gentlemen. Number 20, take one step right. Number 15, one step to your left. 17, one step.
So I just finished Jordan's show. My voice has gone a little bit. I didn't realise how much I was shouting, but not that they can hear me. The music was mental. I will put some photos up if I've got them here of that, because it's just so hard to film when you're in there, especially to coach. Like I'm not focusing on my vlog, am I? Like, I'm not like, oh yeah. But yeah, no, it was a really, like, for a first timer's show. It is very, very good. A few things here and there. They're a bit out of George's control, like being, like, basically making it seem like we were being rushed for the tan because they're all going backstage and he's still getting tanned. I'm like, rush. And then basically, yeah, I get him out basically. And then, oh no, they're not on for like another hour. Typical bodybuilding shows, but it is what it is. I believe George came 6th out of 12 just based on how they were lined up. Which is very, very good. He looked amazing. Like, you'll see the photos that I'll be putting here. He looked absolutely incredible. Yeah, as always, as a coach, I'm always going to say there are definitely things I can improve on as a coach in the process and in the peak and stuff. But then it's like, yeah, up to me to go and get better and stuff like that. But he did everything I asked. Looked absolutely wicked. I think it was a bit weird. Like, unless my memory is just really fucking shit, they did the symmetry rounds and had him in the first lot. But they just kept doing symmetry to the point of like not a single pose was done. And Jordan, some of his poses is fucking unreal. Like, he literally kills some of the lads in the poses by his size. He was the tallest in the short. I'm surprised he was short. But he did say everyone in tall was taller. So he was the tallest of the short. But like, yeah, for him and in some of his poses, unreal. But it's like they'd already kind of, I don't know, in bodybuilding they decide the places very quick. I do understand that, but I just think if he got to show some poses, he would have been potentially placed higher. Like, when they went off, I went, all right, he's easily top 5. Albeit like, and I was like, it could be top 3. But then thinking about it, like, the guys who come first and second, I can't actually remember the guy who come third, but the guys who come first and second were good in their own way. One was absolutely peeled, couldn't pose, but absolutely peeled. The other guy who won actually had just really nice shape, really short, but really nice shape, done really well. Obviously the stuff I'll discuss with George in terms of everyone. Look, everyone is, especially the first time, but everyone has their own thing. Like, all right, we should do this next time. Focus on this. Basically, what can you improve on? Because we can always improve. Like, I could say that guy who I said was shredded could improve his posing. That would be something, right? But yeah, the guy that was 4th, I can't remember the guy that's 3rd. The guy that was 4th, I mean, George was pretty much twice the size of. Okay, that guy was a bit dryness, but like had absolutely no muscle, so it's a bit weird. But I ain't going to be the biased coach, even though, look, for me, outside of the competing, unreal. This was a personal one. This was fucking amazing. He did absolutely wicked. He's also, there's going to be the photos that he can look back on, and it will be the best he's ever been, the worst he's ever been. I think the support down the gym and just locally has been fucking amazing, to the point that this is probably the year where, and again, it's kind of kickstarting a lot of local people doing it, which I love. But yeah, from here, for Jord, well, for me and Jord, is going into off season. Now he's probably going to fuck post show, and he's, if he watches this, the food that he's got lined up's a joke. But although as a coach, yes, you tell them the consequences, you tell everyone the consequences, you tell everyone what you're going to do, right? You can even give them the speech of, look, if you want to be an athlete, if you want to be a pro, you need to act like a pro. But I almost think there's merit in fucking up a little bit post-show, especially your first time, so you then realise you don't want to do that again. But yeah, Jordan, if you're watching this, mate, proud of you. Was really good. Show was super busy. Coaching-wise, like I say, I couldn't be happier with the look. I just think there's things, okay, can you push people at certain times? Can you pull them at certain times? Can I dial him in even more? Obviously, it's the leanest he's ever been, but can we dial in even more? Maybe potentially a little bit more. Peaking wise, is there one or two things probably could have done differently? Maybe. But that's for me to go away and figure out. But just so you guys know my thought process there. But I'll be on the road, going back home, normal check-ins. Yeah. I'll carry on the rest of the vlog of today. Because what is it? Sunday to, I don't know, 8 weeks out. I've just had my food. So I've kept my food in the car. I don't give a shit. I ate at 6. And that's now 12, so 6 hours, very long. I don't usually do that. And I probably won't eat till about 4 or 5 tonight, so. But kind of combining my meals today, because I've got to do it. But yeah, I'm going to drive back, see what's what, go and see Colby Boy. And I have still got work to do, so I'll be doing that. So, finally back, getting in the steps with the fam, which is the doggos, Herbie, Gus, and we have the missus and Colby Boy. But no, because funnily enough, from the last video I had one of my clients ask, weird question, he asked, how do I fit it all in a day? Now, I didn't want that to sound big-headed just because he asked that, but I think because of the job I do, although check-ins can be long and stuff like that, if I wanted to do bare minimum, there's really not a lot. Like, it's just getting things done. Like, I'd imagine when people have a lot more, it's a lot of like labour type jobs and office jobs where, yeah, there's a lot to fit in, then you got to get back, you got to travel. Whereas I'm pretty lucky, like I got a day like today, obviously where I travel, but no, so I get the steps in, I'll get finish my 13k on the walk pad I have as well. I've got 3 check-ins left of 6, but that's because I did like 6 to 10 yesterday that were for today, so I got some done early as well. Obviously it's a rest day for me. You saw me this morning do my food, so just in terms of prep, I was just being organised. Like I say to every client, just being organised, and unless you've really got a spontaneous event or something's happened, there's no reason for any of you guys to not be organised if you know something's coming up. They're genuinely just, there is too much of a fuck it moment, or too much of a, oh, I'll sort it out on the day. But look, if you actually want to achieve something, then Herbie, stop pulling me. Want to achieve something, then organisation's massive. So, but you've only got yourself to blame for that. But yeah, I'll finish this walk. And to be honest, that is what, apart from all the shouting at Jordan, not being able to show you too much of the event because it's just so busy and there's so much going on. Like, that is what a client show looks like. And next week I'll be videoing Cam and Faith show at PCA. So, and that bit's just still getting it done. Potentially I might talk about Jordan's Peak a little bit, but it's totally different from naturals. In my head, just the difference, the whole prep can be different because it's knowing when to push and pull, but naturals are so different. Like, they just persevere. I don't know whether they're naive, especially as a first timer, but they just persevere. When you've got the PEDs involved, they can drive up that systemic stress a lot more than just being natural. Sometimes the guys on stuff are harder to manage, I'm telling you. But yeah, so there we have it. I've just finished my last check-ins for the day. I don't know, genuinely, just from a coaching point of view, for any of you that are interested, there are some top coaches out there that have probably triple the clients I have, and a lot of them can be competitors as well, so they're checking in daily for shows. Fair play to whoever can do just the workload of it's like, obviously it's not labour, like I said earlier, like labouring jobs, it's not office in that sense, but it is just being on it and alert all day, and then also bringing that kind of standard, that energy, that enthusiasm, that passion to like every check-in. I know a check-in to some people is like 4 minutes, like, oh, it's only 4 minutes, but then it adds up, right? And there's loads to do, replying to people. I know, again, it's so easy to reply to people, but there is just, I don't know, when you're so engrossed by it, there is a difference to it. But yeah, I think, as you can probably tell, I'm pretty sure I said earlier, it would have been earlier on the video, there's like, oh, I'll talk about naturals versus enhanced. My brain, I cannot explain, just from driving, seeing a show, sorting out some photos, doing a load of check-ins, making sure everyone's alright. I've already got people that I need to kind of pre-plan for tomorrow because they're in peak week. My brain is fried, so maybe I'll save it for another video. And albeit, obviously there was a bit of a difference with where we were at, but I will be getting some training sessions filmed as we get into the nitty-gritty. Ultimately, how I feel at the moment, I would actually say the last couple of days, weirdly, have been not hard in a prep sense, but more so for the first time, like, I don't want to say a mental sense, because I'm buzzing to compete, so it's nothing to do with that. I've just got this, I've been saying to him, I've just got this real weird thing in my head the last couple of days that I've been so laid back for ages. Like, I lost the fire to just be competitive and almost be the best at stuff when I was a kid. Without sounding big-headed, I was quite good at a lot of things, and people would always tell me, oh, you're good at loads of things, da-da-da-da-da. But as I got older, I just completely, like, to the point that I can't really play five-a-side football with people because I played a high-level football when I was younger. I just can't get into it. I can't do it right. And I can't tell at the moment. My brain is fighting whether I'm just really chilled and actually don't give a shit, and I just do it because I enjoy it, or there is a desire to, almost like I'm getting annoyed with myself, with both coaching, even though, look, you won't know what I know or don't know, what I'm learning or what I'm not learning, what I'm doing, but I'm getting annoyed with myself that I should be better and should be doing more, which I haven't had that in probably a decade. So yeah, bit of a weird one where I'm at, just the last few days, but everything in terms of prep's really fucking good. It feels mental that we're going to be going into like under 8 weeks out tomorrow. But yeah, I don't feel like I'll feel very preppy for this first show, which is nice. It's nice to not feel preppy for a show. But today got me excited. Today reminded me that although you see someone prep, right, I don't think there's a single show that I've been at that something random doesn't happen on the day that you just don't think of. You just think, oh, they get the tan on time, they'll peak on time, they'll be out back on time, they'll go on stage, blah, blah, blah. But like, there's just so much that goes on. Timing, like not running late, but oh, am I behind on something? All this, all that. Oh God, there's so much to it, which is exciting. But one thing I do know for sure is I'm just going to continue. I feel like I've been very laid back in a very good, positive way, but I feel like I'm going to start engrossing myself more in what I love doing, which is bodybuilding. And there's almost a part of my head that won't let me do that. It's really weird. Can't explain it, but just to give you an insight. And the amount of times I say in these videos, just to give you an insight. It's the whole point of fucking vlogging it. But yeah, that'll be it for this video. I'll maybe touch on the enhanced versus natural, but let me know, like, comment below for what you think in terms of that. But show day, we've got a big week coming up. To be honest, work-wise, just normal. Training-wise, just keep sending it. And like I said to you before, I think drugs and food, everything's not changed at all. So it's just another week of getting it done. Hopefully be getting leaner. I feel like my face is a little bit, which for me, my face doesn't really get lean. So touch wood, that's decent. I'm definitely getting more vascular, which I suppose can be a bit of a drug thing over time. But yeah, not sure how much leaner we're getting just yet. But we'll see, we'll see. And let's get it. I hope everyone has a sick week, whether you're doing cardio, and just remember, follow your